there, my crafty friends and creatives from around the globe. Today we are going to make a pretty little fairy journal, and I'm going to use these packs from Paper Rose Studio, Lavender and Fairies, and I have some cut aparts from the same kit, and I have these birds of a feather 6x6s because I thought some of those would work well. That's what we're doing today, and I hope you'll join me. All right, crafty friends. So, Lavender and Fairies. So, we're making a fairy journal. I'm so excited. These are the Lavender and Fairy 12 by 12 paper collection. You can also get each of these sheets on their own. I'll put their website in the description box below, but it is paperrose.com.au. They're an Australian-based company. I'm part of their design team, and this is my March design team project number 2, and we are making a fairy journal. It's going to be the cutest little journal, and I'm also using their cut aparts, which I've fussy cut. So those are all here. We're going to use a lot of those. I'm excited. Let's look at some of these papers. So these are doubles down here. We've got these beautiful butterflies, and then on the other side, this beautiful paisley plaid. Oh my goodness. This is just so cute. I love the little fairy house and beautiful peonies. I love peonies. Some nice polka dots on side 2. So this is an entire sheet of tags, which will be very helpful. And on the other side is this grungy grid paper, but in a beautiful lavender and purple. Oh, this gorgeous gate. We're going to be cutting this up. I want to use this side, but this is gorgeous. Just so pretty. It's very big, though. I wouldn't even be able to fit this in a journal, but that's okay. We'll get some aspect of it. And then there's this piece that has these beautiful butterflies on the back. So some of this will definitely be going in. And then there are these other cut aparts. So I thought I would use maybe some of these on the cover. We'll see. I also love this. And then there's doubles, so I don't have to choose. I can just use what I want to use. Okay, so again, that's Lavender and Fairies. And in case you're looking for it, the SKU is 33477. The cut aparts come with a lot of sheets. You get so many in here. Hold on, this is sliding. Bear with me. Sorry for the glare. You guys know me. We got lights going on because I'm half blind. So you get 6 designs, 3 of each design, and these are a heavyweight fussy cut. So there it says 300 GSM cardstock. Let's see, some these are double, but I'll give you a quick flip through. There you might see a duplicate, but that's okay. Look at that deer. So pretty, right? These colors. What? I did cut out the birdie. You know I did. All right. So we're going to use those. And I thought I would use some of these birds of a feather just to kind of mix it up because there's some really cute pieces in here. They're not particularly lavender, but like something like this with the mandalas I thought would go really pretty. Would go really well with these. And even this, it's got some color in it that I thought would be wonderful to use. This too, I like this background, and of course the feathers. Okay, so you saw all the goodies. All right, let's get to making. I'm going to give you some dimensions, so if you want, grab a pen and pad, or you can just screenshot as I go. All right, so the journal itself, I used just some lightweight chipboard. I thought I had enough of a cereal box, but I didn't. So I had some scraps that I cut these out of. So I have 2 pieces. Well, these are left and right. And the only reason I have them labeled is because I inked. And I didn't ink the center because I didn't need to. So both pieces are 6" by 6.5". Let me make that clear because I know we have people all over. And then this one is 1 3/4 inch by 6.5. Sorry for my horrible handwriting, but that's going to be our journal base. And then I made an insert for our pages. And this is something that I saw Corey Dahman do on Creating with Scraps. Corey Dahman, Creating with Scraps on YouTube. And I'll link her channel below because she's one of my favorite creators. I love her style and the way she explains things. She is a teacher. And I don't know if she's retired now. But anyway, she is just a really excellent teacher. So she made this journal that had these sewn in pieces, and then what you do is you cut your pages and fold them in half, and then you attach the edge to this, and it becomes the page can go in. So you can actually design the pages and then put them in if you wanted to, because you're just gluing them in. And we'll do that as we go. But this is going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pages. And I might mix in just some regular colored cardstock, which is what I'm using here. So this is just a base cardstock that I had. I got it at Hobby Lobby. So we're going to use this, and go over to Corey's channel. She does a much better job explaining this. But these are just sewn in with my sewing machine. And the strips are 1 inch. And are they 1 inch? I might be lying. Hold on. No, they're 1 inch. I scored them down the middle at a 1/2 inch, and then that's how I sewed them in. And then I just figured a 1/4 inch in between. And so that's looked like what she did, although I wasn't 100% sure. But anyway, and then these are just going to attach to this other page here just to kind of align it. So we have that. And then, so let me give you these measurements. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then the scores are at 1 1/4 on each side. And then I just went through every 1/4 inch across. So that gave me 6 of them. So there were 6 1/4 inch marks in between. And that's that. And then, so if you want to do a screenshot, you can kind of do that. Okay. And then, like I said, just jot down those. I don't have them on a piece of paper. And then I did what I'm going to cover everything with. So these pieces will cover this centerpiece like this. Okay. And then they will attach to these sides. So these little flaps will attach here and keep everything together. And then these pages will go on each side and kind of cover over those flaps. And we'll put these there too on the other side. These pieces are 6 by 6.5 also. Oop. So 6 by 6.5 tall to mimic this page. So these are going to just glue right on here. And I did some stitching, which may or may not be coming through the camera. I did a little zigzag, just a little added touch. I like the way Corey did hers, so I kind of mimicked that. And then these pieces are 2 3/4 by 6.5. And then I scored them on a 1/2 inch on either side. And they're both the same. And again, I just stitched the top here because this part's going to be hidden. So there's that. And so 4 of these are the same size. They're all 6 by 6.5. So I did 4, 2 for the front, 2 for the back. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add the accent pages from the Lavender and Fairies paper pack, which I think they'll just pop on this background. Okay, I'm probably going to do this video in 2 parts. We will get the back assembled, and then we'll pick out some papers that we're going to fill up with. It's going to be a combination of the paper pack and just some blank cardstock. And then I'll use some pieces of cardstock, pieces from the kit, the fussy cuts, and we'll put it all together. And then I found this really pretty ribbon that I had in my stash that I thought would just be divine for this. I hope it's coming through. I had to put a background down because this this desk this desk is doing something to my white balance, and I'm not sure what. So that's the reason for the blue. I hope it's not too jaunting. But that's what we're working with. But anyway, isn't this beautiful? Here, you can really see it here on this. I've had this forever, and I finally have a chance to use it. So we are going to use this. It's going to be a fun little simple journal that can be used as a photo album if you wanted to, or you could give it as a gift. You could make it into a little journal that you can write in, collect stuff in. Everybody's always asking me, what do I do with these journals? What do you write in your journals? What do you put in your journals? And I'm not a journaler per se, where I hand write out my day or anything like that. I might jot a note down or a memory or here and there, but I like to collect things like recipes and ideas and put those in there, memorabilia, ephemera, things like that, and just kind of keep them in there. And then anything I see that I like, if there's a sticker or a quote or an article page, something I want to keep, I'll put it in there. And then I'll just throw in some photos here and there as well. So you can really use them any way that you want. If you're an artist, you can draw in them. So you could fill these up with mixed media paper or sketchbook paper instead of a paper pad and use them like that. There's just a lot of things that you can do if you collect, say, stamps or any kind of paper ephemera. You can fill it up with that, make a lot of pockets or things like that, and do that with your journal. So make it your own. There's really no rules here. I give you measurements because I know you guys like them, but you can break the rules. All right, let's get going here. I have to cut these off because they're a little too long, and I want this to be kind of a little bit neater. I did go around the outside with some Distress Oxide in Wilted Violet. So that is the purple that you see around the outside here. It's just to kind of push it back a little because we are going to be putting the paper pad on here, and I wanted a little of the cream to show from this, but you know, use what you have. If you have book page too, I thought that would be lovely to cover your base with. If you wanted to put something down, the papers from Paper Rose Studio are gorgeous. The colors are just lovely, and the quality of the paper is really high quality. So, yeah. And they are sponsoring this video. Well, not sponsoring it in a sense that they are paying me to make it, but I am on their design team with a bunch of other lovely makers, and together we are creating, as the 2025 design team, there's a bunch of lovely ladies and one gentleman on here and I think they added some members since this. But you can go to their Instagram. I'll link everything down below in the description box so you can check them out. And yeah, okay, let's get to putting this together. The first thing I want to do is get these pieces on, because these are kind of going to hold everything together. And I might even put a little washi or Tyvek on the inside. I'm going to use Tyvek tape, but you could use like a Tyvek envelope or any other kind of tape that you might have. If you have some packing tape, nobody's going to see it, so it's fine. Use whatever you have. And yeah, sorry, I probably should have done this before I got on camera, but here we are, and we have to catch up. So yeah, so I will get my Tyvek tape and just kind of tape the inside. This way, over time, it doesn't come apart. The paper will probably be fine if it's you're not using it a lot, but who's not going to use it? It's going to be beautiful. Of course we're going to use it. So I just like to reinforce it. A little fabric would work too. Let me get my Tyvek tape. And the reason, you can get these at any big box store. The reason I like the tie back tape is because it doesn't tear and it's thin. So it doesn't really impede the opening and closing of the journal. So I'll do the first piece with you and then I'll go off camera. Like I said, this other side, let's see. Yeah, this is the side. This will be hidden. So I don't mind. That it has this, these words all over it. I just want to make sure I'm covering up that crease. That's really what I want to kind of make sure I get. And again, I only want to be on this side. Oop, I don't want to do that. Hold on. Easy now. Okay. So I guess I could align that up a little better, but let's do this side. Okay, and then those creases are protected. You can just take a, this is an old gift card. Got a bubble in there so we can pop it with a pin. I need to find a pin. Hold on. I moved everything when I cleaned my craft room. So now I'm always struggling to figure out where I put everything. You know how that goes. That'll teach me, right? Yeah, so just a little pin to get that air out. And if you're a little more careful, you won't have these issues like I'm having. Okay, it's always when you're on camera. So that's one, and then we'll do this one. And like I said, you can also use tie-back envelopes. So like some of the mail envelopes are made of tie-back. Here in the US, it's the priority mail envelopes are generally tie-back. And I don't know what you might have where in your area that might be the same, but they're very sturdy and you can just glue them on. But this I like because it's already sticky and it comes on a roll and it's very thin, very thin. All right, so that's that. So now these are done. Nobody's going to see this part, so I can just fold that over. All right. And now this and this are going to get attached to this piece here. And then these will hold everything together. So the first thing I'm going to do is just grab this, and we're going to first glue this to this. And I want to make sure, well, actually, we're going to glue this down. Because when we glue these, we want to leave a little gap. So I just want to make sure I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let me I'm going to use my Fabrifix here to kind of glue this down. And I'm working with 3 different pieces, but you could definitely, use one big long sheet if that's easier for you. This is just what I had in my scraps. Just going to leave that out. I just want to make sure it's centered in there and push down really well. This is just a piece of cheesecloth or gauze, and it works kind of like a glue eraser, and it picks up the extra glue. All right. And then we want to add these two pieces on the side, and then what we're going to do is put this second piece down like that. And of course, if you want, you can add it ahead of time, but I need to see what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to leave myself a little space just so that when I fold it up, it doesn't catch on itself. That's really the only reason we do that. Let me clip this little bit and get rid of this needle because I will step on it later. All right. I hope everybody is having a great crafty day. We are in the midst of Mass Make March Hop 2025 with a bunch of really creative ladies. I've gathered them together and they are bringing you some mass makes for Mass Make March. And you can check my channel for my video. It was a live I did on Friday, the 21st, which kicked it all off. And then you can find the rest of the schedule there and on my Instagram. And I hope you'll come and join. If you're seeing this after, we have playlists on our channels where you can see all of the videos for that and play along. Okay, so this is the left side. And let's turn this around. And I'm eyeballing this, but if it helps you, you can take the piece of the cardboard and just stick it in there kind of as a gauge for how far you want to go. As long as I can fold this up well, I'm happy. So, and I want to make sure everything is nice and squared up. Okay, and then this side, same thing. Like that. And then this second piece will just go on here to cover that up and make it all pretty. So I know in some places, I don't think this glue is available, this Fabrifix, because, you know, we have a little different system here in the US. But anyway, so, you know, if you have like a tacky glue, that'll be fine. It'll be fine. And so I'm just going to make sure before I push it up that we are lined up there. And then down here, and I can use these to kind of navigate where that crease will go. And I just like to have this handy because if there's any spillage, I can kind of erase it away. All right, and this is going to dry now. Leave it to dry. As long as you have that gap in there, you're going to be fine. But if you start moving it around too soon, what happens is it's going to lift, and we don't want it to lift. So I am going to pause the video, and I am going to let this dry. And then once it's dry, we'll come back and we will add our pieces and our centerpiece here. And I think I'm just going to put a little lace up here and down below. So if you want to go grab some lace while you're waiting, I'll be back in a sec. All right, guys, so I'm back. This is dry. It needed a little more glue in here, but that's going to be covered up anyway. I'm not that worried about it, but I do want to put a little lace up here just because it's going to be kind of poking out of the spine. I stitched it. It'll be better on the other side with the stitching, but I wasn't sure which side I was going to use for what. So making sure everything's going to fit here. Why does that seem like it's not aligned? Oh, because I have the wrong. There we go. Okay. I'm like, whoa. All right. So this is going to fit in here. And then you see how there's just like a little room at the top and bottom? I just want to put a little lace there to give it a little pop of something, you know, a little something. Let's see what I want. I think. All right. So it's going to go right through that one, isn't it? Let's see if we can center them a little. We'll squish it. We'll smush it up. We'll smush it up a little. I hope you guys give this a shot. It's going to be a fun little thing that you can keep. We need it on the bottom too, so let me just do this. All right, and then I'm just going to get out my little smusher tool. Keep my hands a little dirty, a little clean rather. Freudian slip. Just smushing it in a little so it's between those folds. And we'll do the bottom. Okay, there. It'll just be a little bit of something there, right? So we're not just seeing the lace. And then this piece is going to get glued in here, which we now can do. And like Corey says in her video, the nice thing about this one is that you don't have to plan your pages or sew them in. So, you know, sometimes you want to sew lace on a page or you want to put a special element that once it's sewn in, it makes it harder. Well, you don't have to do that with this make because of the way that it's designed. And I do encourage you all to go over and check out Corey's channel because there are so many good ideas, techniques, inspiration, and she's just fun to listen to. She's just kind of get you going. Knows her stuff, that's for sure. I've been watching her for a long time. One of the first YouTubers I ever followed, probably not far after Gail. All right, so this is going to fit in here, and I'm just trying to line it up top to bottom so that when I put the pages in, everything's kind of aligned. And as with the last one, you want to let this dry really well. And then we'll put our other pieces over top, so these will go like this and cover up that end. So super easy. It really is. Got to give it a try. It's going to go in between here and really press this down. And one thing I want to mention too, when you are making like if you're going to sew these in with a sewing machine like I did, you could certainly use like a 3 or 5 hole pamphlet stitch. But if you're going to sew them in, use a longer stitch. If you use a really small stitch, like a 2.5, it's more perforated, and the tendency will be for these to pull out. But because I'm using a wider stitch, it'll work out a lot better. Okay, that's working much better for me. But again, we have to let this dry. So I'm going to let that do that. We'll put it off to the side, but we'll pick out some papers. And the papers are going to measure the length of these, which I cut just a bit shorter on purpose, 6. And so they're going to measure 6 by whatever width we want them to kind of come out of here, which will be, let's see, I don't know what I want. And they're not going to go all the way down on purpose. So let's use this one maybe. So like 5.5 should be safe. So while this is drying, we can pick out those papers. So 5.5 by 6, but we have to double it. So it's going to be 11 by 6 because we're going to fold them in half. So let's get our beautiful Lavender and Fairies paper pack. And I just want to find where the double is. Well, I had them all separated. All right. No. Dirt. I think this is the break. Yeah, okay. Okay. And so these are 12 by 12, which means that I can get a lot of pages out of these. So I'm going to cut them. They put these little edges on, which make great trim. So I do love that. So if we do measure this, you'll see that 12-inch falls right where that is. All right, so let's measure out. We'll do the 6 inches first, since those are the easiest, and then we'll measure out the 11. And I like to do it this way because sometimes when I trim right on that line, it's a little off. See how it's just above that? So this makes it a little safer for me. And then this will allow me to trim out to the 11 mark. And I don't lose any of those beautiful flowers over there. And we will definitely use these pieces. So this piece I'm going to fold this way. And I think this one I might fold that way. And for some of the other pages, we're going to use some cardstock. So my cardstock is 8.5 by 11, which means I just have to cut it on the one side down to 6. And that will give me those pieces. So let's score this on 5.5. Score, not cut. Okay, and it'll fold in half like that. And now there's a lot of things you can do here, as you would imagine. You can make pockets, you can leave them glued together, up to you. But the way this is going to work is this page is going to go down on one of these like this. And I'm not going to take it all the way down. I'm going to leave like a hair. And then it glues down. Okay, and that becomes our page. So I can, this side's already together, but I can, once I glue this in, I can glue the bottom also, and then I will have a top loading pocket. And then this one, I'm going to flip it so we have the other side, and then we can decorate with a pocket or something like that. And that'll be fun. That'll give us a little base, so we can do that. Again, these are 6 by 11. Nope, I didn't cut this one. Well, there we go. All right. So yeah, save all these beautiful pieces. All right. So that's how that'll work. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So I have 2 here. Let me get some cardstock. And actually we can move this out of the way for now. Okay, I have these purples. These are the Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby. I did not pay this. They were on sale. I think they were 40% off. So I like this one. So that'll give me 1. We need 12. So we'll just do a range of purples. And then I'll get a couple of like sand, almost like this too. I don't like that purple as much. Is this one good? That one's more blue. I'm not going to do that one. What else do we got here? Yeah, that one's more blue too. So we got that. So are there 4 colors in here? I thought there were 5. Hold on. Okay. Maybe this one. Still looks kind of blue, but it kind of matches some of that. Also, I could get like a greenish if I wanted to. So there's going to be 3. Where's this? Stay with this. I think I have a green over here. I do. This one's like a light green, so I think that will pick up some of the eucalyptus or whatever that green is there. I kind of like this green. So this is succulents. And it does say white core. So these do, like if you bend them or if you scrape them, you will see the white. And then that was that one. Okay, so we're going to get that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the rest we'll do with the pretty paper, which will be 7. All right, so let me cut these. They're already 11, so I just have to cut them down to 6. And I can probably do 2 at a time on here. And then we will score these each on 5.5. Glue. I'm forever picking glue off my hands. All right. And these 2. Again, I'm cutting them 6 inches on the 8.5 side. So this is the 8.5 side, and I'm just measuring it out. I'm going to finish these up, cut them in half. I'll be right back. All right, and then we have, so we've got that first one we did. So we have 2 here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we need 5 more. Definitely want this one. Yeah, I'm going to go this way. because I think this bottom piece would work by itself as its own. Like I could definitely do that because it has all these flowers down here. And then this one with the arch, I can just do this way. So I do have to cut an inch here. And then I think I'll do this side on this one. Just because I really like those other, I like them all, but I have to sacrifice something. And these will make nice pockets or belly bands or something. So I'm not really super upset about it. Plus, like I said, I have doubles. So that makes the decision a bit easier. If you know, you know. All right. Yeah, and you can make this whole thing just pockets and photos. So, you know, that's up to you. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. How did we get to 9? 1, 2, 3. Why are you shorter? I think I cut this one wrong. I did. What happened? What? How? All right, let me get another. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. It was a light lavender. Yeah, I was not paying attention apparently. Oh, I cut that at 5.5. Silly girl. All right, let's try that again. 6. You guys probably saw me do that too, and we're like, hey lady. All right, that's better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need 3 more. 3. Let's pick. Ooh, I really like this one, but this has the cut up part. Oh, and that's got that. Well, we have doubles, so I like this polka dot, and I like this purple. And there's cut aparts on the cover too, so I don't have to worry too much about that. I need a bigger desk, guys. We all know. So if you have single-sided 12 by 12s, that would be really good for this too, because then you're hiding that single side, right? And we're always saying that we want the double-sided, but sometimes the single-sided works too. 10, 11, and one more. So I'm going to save them, and I'm going to get another piece of green. Maybe a darker green. I don't think I picked a dark green. No, okay. So 6, because there's a lot of green in this too. And this one looks a little bluish, but you know what? It'll work. Okay, so now we have all our papers cut. We can start doing some assembly, because this should be dry now, if I can find it. I'm not really worried about those pieces lifting, because once I put down another sheet, this one's a little troublesome, but you know what? We'll just push it down well. All right, so these guys can go off to the side for a sec. Let's cover these. And I'm going to go like that. I'll take it like right up to that edge, which maybe I just want to trim it a hair. Probably do this to all of them, so just a teeny bit. Just want to give myself that little bit of play. Could have done a little better on this one, huh? Okay. This one. Yeah, actually, these, it's not as important, but we'll stay consistent because they're the outside or the inside. All right. And that's going to glue there. Perfect. Oh, not that. I want this. I definitely want to use a stronger glue here all the way through on this cover because it's got stitching and it's holding down those other pieces. So we want to make sure it's good and strong. And this is just a more reliable glue for me. You could also use double-sided tape. That's probably a really good option too. I'm just not the best at handling that, and I end up putting glue anyway. So this will be video 1, and we'll just get this whole thing assembled. And then video 2, I'll just have them a day apart. They will be the decorating. Here is where I want to be the most accurate, because here you're kind of, if it's not perfectly straight, it's fine, but here you're going to actually show the cardboard if you're not perfectly straight. And I just want to throw something under this because it's going to smush out. Because it always does. The ends, the corners, the edges and the corners, that's where you really want to pay the most attention. The center's fine, but it's likely to stay as long as your edges are down really well. And right here where this is connecting to the other piece of this is where I also want to make sure it's good and secure. And right to the edge. Yep, very good. All right, let's flip it around and do this side. And I did it so that these zigzags are on the outside, so that's why I'm kind of deciding where I am, where I cut that piece off and where I'm putting it. So you see me flipping it around, that's why. Just the way I designed it. But maybe you're not doing stitching at all, or you're using faux stitching with a pen or stamps or something, you do you and use what you have. Don't let what you don't have hold you up, right? There's people who are out in the forest making art with leaves. So you always have supplies. There's always supplies somewhere. I don't know if any of you follow. There's one artist that just does beautiful, like the autumn leaves, the different shades of yellows or orange or whatever. And they lay them out in like a rainbow of color. I don't know their name off the top of my head, but very talented. And there's a couple of artists that work with like dead grasses and kind of braid them out. So nature is a wonderful palette if you want to play. All right, let's flip it over and we'll do these pieces. A little bit of my stitching came out, but I don't care. It's rustic, as is my cutting. My trimming is very rustic. Even with a paper trimmer, I can't get a straight line. Come on. Although some paper trimmers you have to watch. This one's okay. Some of them in the past, I've had to make sure they were cutting right. And we can always put a pretty piece of paper on the outside of this as well, if you want to jazz it up, or a piece of doily or something, or lace. I'm not putting my ribbon closure down yet because this isn't going to be the final top. I'm going to put a decorative top with some of the cutouts from the paper pack, because there's so many cool plate pieces. I wonder if the mushroom house would fit, because that would be ideal. I really love that imagery. Okay, this way. Perfect. Because of the nature of this glue, it just kind of rolls it around and dries it as you go and erases it, just like the glue erasers do. But I am aware of my stitching. I don't want to pull my stitching out. Not all the way, anyway. Maybe a little. Let's see. I'll do this. Okay, that looks good. You know, take your time and let it dry well. And this glue, as it dries, it gets more and more tacky. So as you're going along, just keep pushing down on it. Just keep maneuvering. And eventually you'll get it all stuck down really well. Really well. Most glues are like that, right? They get tackier as they dry, if not all glues. Our glitter glue just dries. It just, you don't get a shot. You don't get a chance to do anyway. You keep going off the page. You don't get a chance to do anything. Just, nope, I'm dry. Sorry. Time's up. And double stick tape, well, that's why I always have to put glue. Because I can never line anything up the first time. Nope. Okay. We will cap you because I think I'm done with you for a while. Trying to get that stray string down. It just doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. You forced my hand. Sometimes if you don't use the edge and you just use the flat side when you got the stitching, it's a little less disastrous. And, you know, your paper's going to shift as you're messing with it, so just be aware and keep checking your edges. Make sure everything's lined up pretty. And there we go. So now we are all covered up. And we're going to let it dry. But that doesn't mean we can't keep going on, because we can decorate our pages when they are not in the book yet. That is the beauty of this particular journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure this is down. And I do want to make some of these pockets, of course. So I'm going to put a little divot in the top. And you can do both sides or one side. I think I'll do this side because then I'll see pink on the other side. Like that. And you can always put this piece back in the behind it too, if you like that look. Let me get my little dauber here. So I brought out the wilted violet, but I also have some of this milled lavender, which I thought, and there's a lot of ink on here actually. I don't think I have to dip it in again. Just to, I like to ink. Maybe you don't, so do as you wish. This is not as much as I thought there was. Just think it adds a little something. I love inking. Just my style. The oxides are really, you know, make it easy too. They're creamy and wonderful. All right. Well, I'm going to stitch around mine. You don't have to stitch if you don't want to, but I want to kind of have a cohesive feel throughout. So I think each of my pages will be stitched. And since this is going to be a pocket, I'm going to stitch it before I glue it or anything, because that way I can hold it open and kind of stitch around. So I will be right back. And we'll do this first page, and then in video 2, we'll build out the rest of this. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. This picture, This paper has a nice satiny smooth finish, which makes it just buttery soft to the touch. But my feed dogs hate it, because you're not supposed to be sewing paper, right? But I only use this sewing machine for paper and, you know, fabric I'm using in the journals and that. So grungy stuff. But anyway, when I notice that it's doing that because it doesn't like it, it's like, no, I will not feed this. I just kind of help it. I push it through. And, you know, I kind of guide it. I don't shove it when I notice it's slipping like that. It happens. And then up here, I don't like to sew around these pockets because I just am not good at it. So I just kind of zigzag stitch up to the edge. And I like the way that looks. So that is our first page. And we can maybe take some of these pieces here and do some pockets and decorate and things like that. So maybe on this page, I can do a double pocket or a single pocket. And I want to always show the stitching. I need a pencil. we'll do a little decorating, and then in the next video we'll do the majority of the decorating. But I want to show you how to attach one page. This way, if you want to kind of go and run with it, you can do that. Some of you like to come back and watch me, but some of you just want to go. You don't want to wait for another video. You just want to get moving. All right. So do something like that, and then it's not going to be perfectly easy to see, but we're going to see it has a white core, so that's more what I'm getting here. And I didn't want to really go with the vintage photo because I wanted to keep the beauty of this lavender. And we have all these beautiful bits. Look at him. I love these. I love all these images. The deer. This, oh, I like that. You know, this is going to be my favorite one. I just love it. You know it's going to make the cover. I'm going to figure it out. One way or another. All right. And if you're going to use this for photos, then you're probably just going to want to do some photo corners, right? So maybe this pocket will be better on this side because it kind of matches that one. All right, and now I can use my art glitter glue. Oop. It's been sitting in there all night because I forgot about it. I have it in a cup with a little water, and that's probably the other problem. It needs more water. A little paper towel. One of my lovely followers, community members, told me that they saw somebody take the bottle and just put it upside down like that, and I don't have to keep capping it, which was like the bane of my existence. It works perfectly. You don't want to squeeze it before you put it in because then it will suck some of the water up into the tip. As long as you just put it straight down, you are golden, and it will stay like that all day and night. It just got clogged because my paper towel dried out a little. But it is one of the best tips I've ever received. Thank you. Whoever you are, my golden child. I like it here. And I'm not going to get over complex with this one because the beauty of the pieces just kind of speak for themselves. I might add a word or two, and actually I don't want any glue up here. It's a pocket after all. Just make sure that doesn't glue down. Really? There we go. I'm a bit more confident now. Okay. All right. And so this side, maybe we'll make some fancy photo corners. Or not. Maybe instead I will, where did that one's here? Oh, maybe I'll make a belly band. Like this way. I kind of like that. I could do one of my sliding belly bands. And then I could put something like this on here. Why don't we do that? I like that. So this I'm going to go all the way up. And should I stitch it? Yeah, let me do that. Just so it kind of matches. And I'm just going to glue this back piece. I don't want these to come unstitched. I love these tonic scissors, but they are not detail scissors. They are not good for cutting like threads. They're just not. They're perfect for fussy cutting and cutting paper, which is what they were designed for. And then I'm just going to wrap these in here with my glue. Come on. Will not cooperate. I will not. Oh my goodness. Hey. Thank you. This way they won't unstitch. Hopefully. That's the plan. That's the dream. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right, finally. String hanging all over. My stitching is a little crooked, but you know what? That's me. There is no perfection on this channel. We know that. All right, this is going to be a belly band. And I'm going to get a scrap of the other cardstock. And we're going to make like a little piece that goes. Actually, I have this scrap here. This will be fine. These are some of my favorite. I love doing these. So, I don't know. It's like an inch wide, thereabouts. And it's going to wrap behind here and come up and wrap around this. Oop, hello, stay there. Wrap around this belly band. You want it to be straight. Let's do this because I'm a little, oop, sorry, move the camera. I'm a little gun shy here. Hold on. I want this to wiggle. All right. And you don't want it too tight, so let's actually put this over here. And we'll just, you don't want it too loose either, otherwise it just falls. All right, but you want it to be able to slide. This is a little too loose. There we go. Nobody's going to see it, so. And then we shall cut it about there. What's that? Hello? Where's the cut mark I just made? How? Really? How does it happen? I don't know. Could have swore I put a little cut in that, but all right. Maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining things. It's all good. Okay. All right. Okay, we're just going to glue this piece down now. Don't go over because you want it to move like this. You want it to be able to scoot up and down. And then we just take this piece and we put it over top. And does it make it a little cumbersome to put things in and out? A little bit, but it's beautiful. You get to use this beautiful peony. So we're going to glue that to that. And then it moves. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. And I've hidden words under these. So I'd glue a word down there and then this will cover it. So, all right. So that is now dry. This pocket is done. Let's assemble it to the page so you can kind of see how this works. And then if you want to go run with it, you can. I think we are good and dry here anyway. You just want to, once it's dry, you want to work your cover well, just so it can open and close. You know, it gets a little stiff, as we all do when we stay still. Maybe you don't. I do. All right, that's good. And so the way these assemble is they just go to the page and glue here. So I'm going to do one side at a time, just because it makes it a little easier and I can figure out where my space is. So I'm just going to glue down this side. Actually, no. Yeah, I'm going to use this glue. I just think it'll hold better. And then I'm going to make this a pocket. So remember, I'm going to have to glue down the bottom, but we'll do that in a minute. Because the important thing is to make sure it's lined up at the where you want it to go. So you can use a spacer there. I think Corey uses like a knitting needle. She kind of lays the knitting needle. And so why don't we just use this? It's sitting here. See, and then you don't go all the way down. But I'm better when I eyeball it. So that's what I'm going to do. You see how I'm not going all the way down to the stitch? That's what I'm referring to. All right. And we want to go back. Well, let's let it dry. Hello. I'm just afraid I'm going to glue the other side to to here. So, okay. So I'm leaving a scant, I don't know, what is that, 1/8 of an inch about there. But again, I'm kind of eyeballing it, so it's not going to be perfect. Again, if you want to use a shim or something, please do. That's what Corey does. She's way smarter than me, so. And then the other one just glues to the other side like that. All right, but I'm going to make it a pocket, and I'm just going to throw a tiny bit of glue in here. Double-sided tape would probably be a really good option here too. All right, and then this side, just going to glue the bottom. And then down this side. Sorry if I'm not in frame. Okay, this will close up the pocket, and this will align it to the other side. Now, if you're not making a pocket, it's a lot easier because you don't have to worry about, you know, keeping that open. You can just glue it all together. So if you're using recycled material, for instance, a brown garbage bag or something, you can just glue it all down. If you're using like copy paper or cardstock or something. I just thought, why not make this one a pocket? I'll probably make most of them pockets. You could make a side pocket as well, but you would have to cut this side open. Okay. And that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the way this is designed, but you do you. If you want to give it a shot, give it a go. I'm going to tell you what to do. Get that extra glue out of there. And because of the way we lined it up on the other side, naturally, the way this paper fell, it lined up on this side as well. And these lay really flat, which is what I loved about this. So, and there we go. That'll be our series of pages will be in there. So that is the first video. Let those little beauties sit right there. I love the unicorn. And there'll be a second video where we will decorate the inside. And then we'll put the cover on with the beautiful lace or ribbon. It's not lace, it's ribbon that I have, which I think is just going to be stunning. And then I'm going to put some inner pages here as well, some like pockets and things like that. So it'll be fun make if you want to stick around for part 2. But if not, then on your way. I hope I see you in an upcoming video. Beautiful paper rose studio paper pack, lavender and fairies. I love, love, love it. You know I love, love, love my fairies. So guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for part 2. I'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your day or night. Bye.